Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for this new episode of Inspiring Our World. I am absolutely thrilled today to have a wonderful friend of mine, Sue Gruber, with us. Sue is a platinum in Nikken. She's been involved with her husband, Bob, for almost 18 years, and she has a background of a long career in nursing. You're going to learn a lot from Sue today. So thank you, Sue, very, very much for joining me. I know you have a really busy schedule, but I so appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. I'm honored that you asked me to do this. So I'm very excited.
We're going to have fun and we're going to roll right into it. My first question to you off the cuff here is, tell me why you got into nursing. What was it that propelled you into that long-term career?
I just have always liked taking care of things, whether I did a lot of babysitting when I was a kid, whenever my sister was sick one time and I was, right in there helping take care of her. And, even if it was a little animal someplace, I had to help it. So I've just always kind of, liked to do that. And, it was really, that's something that I had just always wanted to do. And initially when I started college, my parents were both teachers. They wanted me to be a teacher. And I went along with it for about a year. And then I said, no, I want to get into nursing. So then I got to follow my dream. And I got to go to the school I wanted to go to and get that nursing degree. So it's been really just what I wanted to do.
I love it. I love it when we get to do what we want to do. I'm going to ask you, how old were you when your sister got ill and you were taking care of her?
Well, she was older than me. It was, I don't know, I was probably 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just helping out. I mean, my mom and dad were working. And so she just, couldn't leave her home alone. And I mean, she wasn't horribly ill, but she was sick enough that somebody had to be home with her.
The reason I ask is because I think when you must have seen and experienced more than just seen that you really were good at this and that you liked it, that it made you feel happy to serve, to help others. And I know you well enough to know you have a heart of gold and you really have helped many, many people with Nikken. We're going to get to that. But this was sort of the beginnings of the seed of your destiny, I would say.
Right. I wasn't upset that I was needed to do that. And it's just a good feeling when somebody doesn't feel good and you help them to feel better. That is just a very good feeling.
It's so true. I remember that at boarding school when I sort of became the emotional counselor for all my friends, girls and boys in the school, at the Royal Ballet School. And I found that I just enjoyed counseling, coaching others, through their difficulties and into something better. So I really concur with you on that. And you've spent how many years in nursing?
My career lasted, it was well over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sue, what a gift you've been. And then Nikken for sort of almost 18. So how did you get involved in Nikken? And tell me about that, because that's a transition too, from the understanding of allopathic medicine to the understanding of Asian, understanding of energy and all of that we teach.
Right. Well, my husband and I, we were middle-aged and we were both having some medical problems that things just kept coming up. And it was doctors and then it was specialists and then it was, more doctors. And we got to the point that we would just hear, there's nothing else we can do. Come back in 6 months. We'll see how you're doing. And the icing on the cake was it was just starting to get a little scary. And when we heard there's nothing else we can do, just come back in 6 months, I said, I don't believe you. There has to be something else we can do. And as a kid, doctors were the last things we did. when I was growing up. Mom always had her remedies and things that we would do. And so I knew, it was just the way I was raised. There's other things you can do besides the doctor and besides the Western medicine thing. So when it got to that point for us, my gut says we can find something to help us. We have to start helping ourselves. So we started looking, and of course it was kind of confusing. There's a lot of information out there, and 18 years ago, this wasn't as well understood and as well accepted as it is now, the homeopathic remedies. And so it was confusing, and it was really one thing after another that we kind of evolved. We were kind of led to Nikken, and I believe in divine intervention. I really do.
Oh, me too.
And we really were introduced to our sponsors. And being a nurse, I was skeptical, and I wasn't sure that this was really going to help us, but we were interested. And 18 years ago, everybody would have like the weekly meeting and the home get-togethers, and I just started attending things, and I would hear stories from people that these were just regular people. They were not medical people. I knew they weren't planted. These were real people. And what I was hearing was sort of really blowing me away. And so we just started trying things. And initially we started with water. And, I firmly believe water is foundational. But we started with water because we were buying bottled water for 17 years. We had it delivered to our home. And so we spent a lot of money on water that was good to drink, that you could drink. Our tap water tasted yucky.
Yes.
So we bought the water system only because it tasted great. It made great coffee. Those were my two requirements.
Love it.
And my husband got out the calculator, and he said, "Do you know how much money we're going to save if we buy this thing?" So we did.
Perfect.
And so
we all have our reasons. I love it.
And so that started our path. And, they said, "Oh, you're going to start feeling so much better. You'll be surprised how much better you feel." And I'm thinking, yeah, sure, right, water. But 4 months later, we were getting better. We felt better. We had measurable changes that just told me things were getting better.
Yes.
So we just kept adding. We had been on other supplements, so we changed to Nikken supplements. I wasn't sleeping, so we started sleeping on a sleep system. And by the end of 6 months, we bought the wellness home. And we never looked back. Things that had been problematic and had, for years and years and years, just started disappearing and improving. So we knew we were on the right path. So after about a year, we said, people have to learn about this. Nobody knows about this. And, being a nurse, I knew that at least I worked at a main hospital, and there was nobody ever talked about drinking better water or taking supplements or how are you sleeping. Nobody ever asked those questions. And we have to do this. And then I wanted to be able to retire early. Bob's a few years older than I am, and I didn't want to have to work until I was 66. So we thought, well, we can turn this into a business. We can supplement our income, and, maybe we can start living our lives, and enjoying time together. So the plan came together. That's what happened. I got to leave the job. And as the years went by, it became harder and harder to be a nurse in Western medicine. It just didn't fit how we were living anymore.
Because of the hours or because of the style of nursing?
yeah, it was that I wasn't even allowed to talk about this stuff at work. I mean, I had been cautioned by some of my workmates, you're going to get fired. You got to stop talking about this stuff. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
so interesting to hear because
yeah,
I haven't been in that profession, but
yeah.
that is fascinating, and I really commend you because I think when you're trained in allopathy, you know, people think of it as just that's the medicine, that's it, but
Yeah.
allopathic medicine, and it's a certain way of understanding, and breaking down the body into separate parts and this and that and the other, and for you to be able to shift. And I hear that it took experiencing the products, getting some products, going, well, this works really well. Maybe if the water works, I'll get the air system, and then the sleep system. Oh, it's now ratcheting up my health and thriving. Awesome.
Yes.
But I really do commend you because I think it's quite a leap for somebody who's really been brought up with the studies and the knowledge that you have to understand the power of energy and the power of the planet's natural environment, right? Because that's all we're doing is becoming in harmony with nature, and we're bringing nature's frequencies, those natural things, in to our homes, whether it's the earth energy, the sun energy, grounding, fire energy from the sun, water and air. These are the basic elements of life, and they are, we are a part of that.
Right.
You got that shift.
I felt like we had given ourselves the empowerment, the freedom we decided that we had to do something to help ourselves.
Yes.
And most of my patients that I took care of, they didn't understand that, I'm not saying that you don't need your doctor. We still go to the doctor. And, so it's not that we don't use Western medicine at all.
Sure.
But we learned that there were so many things we could do to help ourselves that augmented everything that our doctor did for us. It just made it work better.
Yes.
It did. And like our business name is Wellness and Wealth by Choice. We chose we needed to be healthier.
Yes.
And we weren't getting the results we wanted just doing what we were doing with our doctor. And when we started taking some responsibility, and when we started making choices that were more natural, like I said, nobody ever asked me, what kind of water do you drink? How much sleep do you get? What kind of air do you breathe? Nobody ever asked me those things. And those were the things that made the difference for us.
Yes.
Because that's what we did. We improved our nutrition, and so many people think the only way to be healthy is through diet and exercise. It's like, well, that's two pieces of the puzzle. Yes, you do need good diet. You do need some exercise, but you need to breathe some good fresh air. You need to get sunshine is good for you. We need it. Our bodies make vitamin D because of the sunshine. Yes. And yet we're told don't go out in the sunshine. It's bad for you. Yes. So it's those kind of things. I felt like a new world had been opened up for us. And when we just decided to enter, or at least be inquisitive, to try it, it's not going to hurt you. Try it.
Right.
And it was just amazing. And so that is what has, kept us going all these years. We know it makes a huge difference. We know you can be better.
Yes.
And I mean, it's just, we know it, there's no doubt.
Great. So, I want to harken back there a little to self-responsibility, because I do feel that people are waking up in droves around this idea of, oh, I think I need to take more responsibility for my health. And we know that it happens in incremental gains. In other words, those good habits that replace maybe less good habits every single day, every single night. And it's many, many things, right? It's many things. Like you said, there's diet, there's exercise, there's the Nikken Wellness Home, which we all love. There's other things, good relationships, so many things. What do we take? I don't watch TV. I haven't watched it since I started Nikken in 1995. Actually, I quit TV and I haven't ever gone back. I do like films, good films. I don't watch scary films. I don't watch things that make me terribly sad. I watch, enlightening and enlivening things. I actually saw a fabulous film last night, Ashes and Snow. It was one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. I sent it to my kids. Here's network marketing, right? I sent the link from YouTube. It was on YouTube to every one of my kids and my staff kids and said, this is gorgeous. You've got to watch this film. And so I think that's a natural response when you find things that work. But I want to say, because, my dad and stepdad were both doctors, when my mom was diagnosed with all the mental illness and I saw so much of the drug taking and everything like that, and I kept seeing her get worse and worse. And my dad said to me, you'll probably get this too. It's genetics. And I said, absolutely not. But of course I was afraid, right? Because I didn't understand. Does it just happen to you suddenly one day you got bipolar or schizophrenia or something? So I wasn't sure. So I started taking responsibility very committedly and started studying from, about the age of 18. And then at 22, 23, I got really involved because I was like, I have to take care of my mind. I have to take care of my emotions. I have to take care of my body so that I don't suddenly get a diagnosis like that, because I don't want that diagnosis and I don't like the trajectory of what happens. Now, Western medicine is phenomenal for acute issues. If we have an acute issue, if I stumble and break my leg or something, I'm in the hospital. I'm going there immediately. It's wonderful. It's, especially in America, it's phenomenal. But for chronic issues, that's a whole different thing. And that takes that daily mindfulness. And you did that. You realized that it was your choices that were at the fundamental heart of your benchmark for health, right?
Right. And it's all about the choices.
Yes.
And it's just having the open mind to gather the information so you can make those educated choices. At least, is this for you or isn't it for you? But
I like that. About the open mind, because curiosity is terribly important. Now I'm making a leap suddenly to, the open-mindedness about network marketing, because we have, the open-mindedness to the technologies we work with. And then there's the open-mindedness, of network marketing. I mean, how do you see that? How was that for you? Did that take some time?
It did, because I had the preconceived idea that network marketing is the pyramid thing, so that was, and of course it was just being educated, and then, when I really thought about it, working at the hospital is the pyramid, not network marketing, I mean,
yes,
really, really. So, but it took a while, and I don't like to be pressured.
No,
I am very uneasy. I mean, I put the walls up.
Yes.
I glaze over. I don't like being pressured. And I've been in a situation from people who are doing a sales type of position to where you are pressured. They want to make that sale. And so that was another thing that I had to overcome. And so that's one thing I've never been able to pressure anyone. I mean, I want to give them the information. I don't want to leave anything out. I want them to know what their options and their choices are. But I mean, a lot of times I say that right up front. It's like, this is not pressure. I just want you to see all your options. And then the choice is yours, what you decide to do.
I love that. One of the techniques I learned early on in network marketing, because I also was pretty close to it for a while, and then I sort of something shifted, and I went, oh, actually, this is really brilliant and fabulous, and I can really empower people in this, just like I can with the products. But I would always say to people, this may not be for you. This may not be for you, whether products or business, but especially the business. Because I mean, actually, the products are for everyone. So I say, I don't know if you want these products or not. I think they're for everyone, but the business, this may or may not be for you. And that was always because I wanted them to not armor up, to just be disarmed in a natural way, because, who wants to make people do things they don't want to do? Nobody. No, it was a horrible thing. That's a horrible thing. And women particularly, most women don't like that one bit. We don't, especially nurturing, loving women. I mean, you come from nursing, I come from a healing background, there's just no way we want to do that. That's icky for us.
It's an icky feeling.
I haven't said that word in a long time, but it's kind of a fun word when it comes out in the right place.
It's a good word.
Yeah. So good. So I love this trajectory, this sort of opening of mind and heart to the technologies. And then after a year going, gosh, people could really be helped by this, and we could start a business with this. And you've done beautifully well with it. You're a platinum consultant. That's no mean feat. I know what that looks like. I know what that feels like. And we all love watching you. You win incentives. You've done a really great job. So you really took to this entrepreneurship pretty much like a duck to water, I think.
Yes, our sponsors were very hands-on. Okay, we had a very close relationship with them, and they were very active, which made it easy for us to be very active, because they were very inclusive. I mean, we did lots and lots of things together. So we really learned the business, like going silver, they were right there. We worked side by side. They were a huge part of us going up the ladder, improving things.
Lovely.
And I mean, that's really, so we learned so much about the right way to do the business. The incentive programs they're designed to help you build a strong business. Yes. A balanced business. So you have Nikken's, our income comes from many different areas, and this incentive program is designed that you can earn your retail, you can earn your rebates and overrides, you can grow your business, you're getting your customers, you're getting your business partners, and it's just working together, and it's that balance that keeps you strong.
Yes.
You can go wide, you can go deep, you can just have a strong business, and that is what's helped us progress to where we are. It's finding that balance, getting your business partners, having your customers, the wellness subscription to help you have those return orders. And it's brilliant. It's just a really, really good program to help you build the strong business that you want.
Yes.
It's up to you how hard you work at it, but it's up to you, but it's there.
And I love the balance point of view, because, one does need, I mean, the job of the field is to build retail, of course, and build a customer base, but also to build teams. Those are the two critical things. That's the field's responsibility. And then the company, has the products manufactured and stores the products and gets the products out to people and does the websites and all of that, social media and so forth. And of course, pays checks on time on the 15th and on every time, every week with retail. So I think what I'm going to say about that is, I think balance is very important. So on the point of balance, let's talk about the 5 pillars of wellness. Let's talk about the balance there. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. How has this worked in your life? What do you find with this? Because mine kind of oscillates this way and that way, depending where I'm putting the focus and so forth.
Right. Well, I think the healthy mind is probably the first most important thing, because if your mind is not on the right track, if you're not positive and those kind of things, I think a healthy mind kind of sets it sets the whole rhythm, the whole pace, the whole feeling of your life. I think, it's the way you look at things. And then, of course, healthy body. I mean, if you don't feel well, if your family doesn't feel well, if your friends aren't doing well, all those things play into your daily life, your being, who you are. At least it affects me.
Absolutely.
I feel it when it's off for somebody else.
You're empathetic. You're an empath.
Yeah, especially somebody I care about.
Love.
So that, the healthy body is so important. And I guess being a nurse, that was the biological aspect of life, was 40 years, that was where my focus was. So, but now I'm into the biophysical, it's the way the body interacts with our physical world now, that I think that was missing before. And, since Nikken, that's my focus now. It's the biophysical, how does our world affect our body or our health? Okay.
Yes. Epigenetics. We all love the study of epigenetics. Yeah.
And so that's I guess that's my focus. The family, like I said, when someone that you care about and you love is hurting, it hurts you. It really does. It affects your mind. It affects your health. It affects everything.
Yes.
And society. One of the things that I think about for our Nikken business is helping families. I think society, the basis of society is the family. Yes. If we can't have healthy families, how are we ever going to have a healthy society?
Absolutely.
And, it's so interconnected. It's so one thing leads to the other. And then finances, finance is one of the major stressors in our lives for most people. Most people are stressed by whatever their finances are.
Yes.
So, and everybody kind of has their own thing, so it is the 5 pillars of wellness are of major importance. I believe that's the focus of the whole business. I mean, your goal is to help others and yourself have the healthy mind, the healthy body, the healthy family, helping society to be healthier, and then the healthy finances. And of course, the healthier your finances are, the more you can help others. I mean, it's
like a feedback loop, isn't it?
It is.
I'm seeing that in my mind's eye right now. And also because of the gorgeous principles of network marketing, that you can help society, people you would have never met in your own lifetime, but somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and that ripple effect. It's so powerful how you can ultimately affect thousands and thousands of people, individuals, and helping their families, like you said, because what you say about family is so true. Without healthy families, the nucleus, we can't really have a healthy society, because it's made up of families and individuals. Within the family, and some who don't have families, who are individual. So I think it's a wonderful concept. It's so simple. One of the things I love about Japanese ideas and philosophy is the simplicity. I love that, because I think truth comes through those simple principles. and they don't get clouded with a lot of reasoning. It's just like, hey, this is kind of how it is. Here's a circle. Here are the 5 pillars, and if they're all thriving, fabulous, well done you. And sometimes we get a flat tire on one bit, or a puncture in the tire, and then the whole thing goes flat because your money disappears, and then your health goes because you're worried about the money, or your child is sick, and then your well-being goes, and then you can't work properly because you're taking care of your child. So it's all interconnected, is I guess what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one affects the other. I don't care where the breakdown is or where you're the strongest. It affects. It's all important.
Yes, it's all important. Yes, and we can have it all, and we can empower others to have it all with this. I want to ask you, I'd like to sort of complete our time together with just asking you, because you're such a heart-centered person. Like when you just talked about if somebody else is hurting in your family, someone you love, I saw you get all tearful, and I felt it too. Because it's so true for me also. Tell me about some, a couple of the stories of the most heart-opening things that have happened for you with Nikken.
Oh my gosh. Wish I would have had time to think about this. Help me, dear. The biggest thing, well, I don't know, that's kind of selfish. When Bob and I got better, when we improved, when our energy came back, that was foundational. It's yes. This is so important. We have to share.
That's beautiful right there. Seeing your own husband get better, your own issues that maybe you were struggling with get better, that's huge. Because don't you think we can't make others do anything. We can be an example of help. Right. And you became an example of a thriving individual with your husband. And who doesn't love to see that, Sue? Who doesn't love to see a couple that's thriving?
Our families are, it takes time. They always say you're not a prophet in your own land. But it's very exciting for me that we have so many of our family members that are open to this. They, built their own wellness homes. Some of them are full blown, supplements, clean air, good water, sleeping, just everything, the magnetics and the energies. It just is so heartening. I feel I always, when I get a referral from somebody, it's like when somebody comes back to me and says, oh, thus and such told me about what had happened for them. And she recommended that I come to you. It's like that. It's like that's why I do this, because I helped someone that they felt so well that they had to share it with somebody else. And those are really exciting to me. This is not silly, but my daughter's dog had some problems. And, it's like the doctors were trying to help, and it was kind of expensive. And I said, well, let's try this, let's just try this. And it's like things just started improving. Some of the problems that they were facing eased up. And, it's those kind of things that I just like helping people, pets. I just like watching people get better, feel better, have more energy. Things. My sister's dog had quite a few health issues, and the neighbors noticed. They said, "What did you do to Lukey?" Because this dog went from, barely being able to go outside and go potty to chasing the chipmunks,
Wow.
So, the neighbors noticed. And, it's those kind of things. I know we have something very special that will help. It will help you no matter what. And it's just getting the word out, sharing the story. I don't know.
That's right.
That's
yeah, you do know. And the beauty of do no harm, that Hippocratic oath, right? Do no harm, that everything we use is safe. It's non-invasive, it's non-chemical, and it really works. And it's simple to use. I mean, once you integrate the wellness home into your life, you don't really have to think about it so much, because that's just the water you drink, and that's just the air that you breathe in your home. And that's the beauty of your sleep system at night,
It's very passive. It's passive. Just make a couple changes and just reap the benefits, breathe deep and sleep soundly. There you go.
I love it. I love it. Gosh, Sue, thank you so much for this time together and your wisdom. And, you have just such a deep background in nursing, and you can just see it flowing through with everything you do. I mean, I'm so happy that you get to live the life that your heart chooses, which is helping others. And yourself as well, of course. So it's really been a pleasure. So thank you again. And thank you everyone for listening. I hope you really enjoyed this podcast and got a lot out of it. I know I did. And don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. And of course, we put it to YouTube as well on the Nikken International channel, if I can get that word out. Also, the most important thing is sharing. So please, you can comment and 5-star it, but sharing is key. That is what we do in Nikken, is share. So please do share this podcast with others. Maybe somebody who's spent a lifetime in nursing who might want to look at something else in terms of taking care of their health and others. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful week. And we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.